Alright, this is standard 6, writing equations. And this standard will be very similar to when we were writing expressions in sentences. Okay, so keywords that you will be looking for here is much as, is the same as, is identical. So pause the video and go ahead and write those down. Anytime you see these words, you will use an equal sign. There will be other words that you can be looking for, but these are very common ones. Okay, example 1. These first 3 examples we're going to write from sentences to equations. So this first one, 80 minus 15 times a number is identical to 25. So is identical to, that's our key word that we will know to use the equal sign. So the rest of it, you kind of just keep saying it out loud until you understand what it would look like. So 80 minus, so 80 minus 15 times a number. So 15 times a number, you can use any variable for when it says a number. So I'll use n. So 15 times number, and I'll write it right next to it since it's multiplication, is identical to, so that's where my equal sign comes in, 25. And that's your equation. Okay, number 2, 7 times a number squared is 5 times the difference, of k and m. Okay, so this one's kind of long, but that's okay. It's we're just gonna break it down nice and slow. So first, I'm gonna write it nice and spread out so it's right next to the word. So we have 7 times a number squared. So a number, any number, I'll pick x this time, squared, is, so equal to 5 times the difference, so that means subtraction, of k and m. The difference of k and m. Now before I scrunch this up, I do want you to notice this said 5 times the difference of k and m. So we actually want to do 5 times whatever the difference is of k and m after we subtract. So that means because order of operations, if we left it like this, we would do 5 times k first. We want to go ahead and put parentheses in here so that we know we're going to do the difference of k and m first before we multiply by 5. Okay, I know that's kind of tricky, but that's how it has to be because of order of operations. So this is very spread out. I'm going to scrunch it together. Instead of the dots for my multiplication signs, I'm just going to put them, I'm going to put the numbers right next to the variables. So to scrunch this side up, 7 times x squared. I'm going to bring down my equal sign and my 5, and then again I'm going to get rid of the dot because I know I can just write it right next to the parentheses and it still mean multiplication. And that is your equation. 7 times a number squared is 5 times k, the difference of k minus m. Alright, number 3, 2 plus the quotient of a number and 8 is the same as 16. So 2 plus the quotient, and you should know that means division from our last section, of a number and 8. So of a number and 8, that's what the division could look like. There's a couple different ways you can write that. Is the same as, so again there's our keyword for equals. So is the same as 16. So 2 plus the quotient of a number and 8 is the same as 16. Okay, now we're going to do a few examples of when they give us the equation and we actually have to write the sentence. So what I do with these is I read the equation out loud to myself and basically write down exactly what I see. So this one says 6 times a number, or 6 times z, minus 15 equals 45. So I'm going to write that down. 6 times a number, you could say 6 times z as well, minus 15 is 45, is equal to any of those keywords that we wrote down at the beginning, and there it is. Alright, number 5. So again, I'm going to read it out loud. It says y squared plus 3 times x, or 3 times a number, equals w. Okay, Another way you can think about it is sometimes we say plus, or we can talk about the sum of. So I'm going to go ahead and use the sum of to switch up my words. So I'm going to say the sum of y squared and 3 times x is the same as w. Okay, the sum of y squared and 3 times x is the same as w. Alright, I want you to go ahead and pause the video and try these 4 examples, and then go ahead and start the video and I'll go through them with you. Okay, so number 1 says the sum of q and 4 times t is the same as 29. So again, the sum is addition. So the sum of q plus, so q and 4 times t, so that would be 4 times t right next to each other, is the same as 29. So equals 29. And there's your equation. Go ahead and box it so your teacher can see your answer right away. So number 2, the quotient of 25 and t minus 6 is 45. So the quotient means division. So the quotient of 25 and t, whatever number they name first is what goes on top. So that's how you know that. 25 and t minus 6 is or equals 45. Alright, I'm going to switch up the colors here. Now they give us the equation. We're going to go ahead and write the sentence. So j plus 16 equals 35. Or you can write the sum of a number. I just think it sounds cooler when we say the sum of a number. And 16 is 35. And this very last one, r squared minus 15 equals 20. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write a number squared. You can write r squared as well. Squared, but r stands for any random number, minus 15 is the same as 20, or in other words, equals 20. All right, that is it for Standard 6. Go ahead and make sure you have all your notes and bring them to class tomorrow.